as I'm sitting here driving and thinking about my legacy and what I want to leave to my kids, what was left to me by my grandparents. My grandparents on my mother's side, my grandfather was a chef. My grandmother was a beautician. My grandmother and grandfather bought 3 consecutive lots in the 60s, I believe in the 50s or the 60s, in the city of Long Beach, California, on PCH, on Alamitos, which is on the east side, which is a direct shot to the beach, because going down Alamitos, you can go straight down to the beaches in Long Beach. And my uncle would tell me that my grandmother told them these properties are going to be worth something one day because they're by the beach. And I bring that up not to be braggadocious, but my grandparents, as you can tell, were of African American descent, black, chocolate, however you want to describe that. And they bought 3 properties, 3 consecutive parcels, which now in 2022, that would be unheard of. So the legacy behind that in itself is phenomenal. And then to go a step further, my grandfather turned 2 of those properties into businesses. One was a restaurant, the Alpha and Omega, where they served soul food. And the other one was the Debutante Studio of Beauty, where I used to get my hair done by my grandmother and by my aunt. But he renovated those properties so that they could be business owners. And they were able to service the community for years. So the legacy in that in itself has such a fire within me that I need to leave something for my kids. Not necessarily tangible, but in a spiritual sense, in a way that I live my life. Because my grandparents were very present in my life. My grandmother was a missionary. She was about 5'4", 5'5", but short in stature, but robust in her faith. And I know that I couldn't be here today and move about the way that I am if it weren't for her prayers, if it weren't for her fasting and praying and interceding on behalf of her children's children and my children and my children's children, and thinking about my grandfather and the things that he did. The first time that I made a cake and I brought it over to him, and I was so excited. I said, "Granddaddy, I made a cake." And he looked at it and he's like, "What box is that from?" I was like, "Huh? What does that mean?" "Yeah, this is not made from scratch." I don't even know what that means. All I know is that I put the ingredients in a bowl and stirred it up. So that in itself, at this point, I can make my own banana muffin from scratch, which I am extremely proud of. And I tell my grandfather in my spirit to this day, "Granddaddy, look what I did. Look what you challenged me to do." And then thinking about my dad's mom. My dad's mom, she lived out of state, so I didn't get to see her as much. But we had a pen pal relationship. And she would send me any and everything that she found in her house. She would write on any and everything that she could find in her house. Old bills, she would write on the back side of the envelope and send me letters, send me scriptures. She sent me one of those little bitty New Testament Bibles that I have to this day, and I have getting ready or holding so that my daughter can have it, which was passed down from her grandmother. So what I got from her was spirituality and to pray without ceasing. So one of the things, and then my son's grandmother on his dad's side, my mother-in-law. My mother-in-law only got to experience my son for a good 3 months. But the time that she had him, I would bring her over, and she was sick at the time. But all if she would muster up the strength to say, turn that boy around here so I can see his face. Turn him around here. Get him out the basket. Get him out the car seat so I can hold him. And the love that she poured into him from her bed. She couldn't even get up at the time, but the love that she had for him, I know that he can feel that. And showing him pictures of his grandmother, he was only 3 months old. So the point of this video is not to go viral, it's not to be shared, but I want my kids to know that I'm working hard drafting my legacy, my mother's legacy. She's currently drafting hers, and she has a spirit of service. She has a spirit of prayer. She has a spirit of education. She wants her kids to be educated. Whenever she talks to them in the morning before school, it's go learn how to read and write. Go listen to what the teacher says. And as a single parent working part-time, she went back to school and got her bachelor's degree when we were in high school. So the legacy that was left, or is left, my mother's still drafting her, so I'm not putting her in that part, but the legacy that you want to leave your grandkids, be around, take care of your health. You can live a long, healthy life. Be intentional about your health. Be intentional about being in your grandkids' life. Be intentional about being in your kids' life. And show them, have them things that they can remember. It's not about the tangible. Stop buying a bunch of toys. Stop buying a bunch of stuff for them. Be there. Speak into their life. Speak into their life about the social media. Speak into their life about being on social media, about using computers, because that's essential for them in the future. Tell them about home ownership. Tell them about owning property, because that's going to be so important for them, so that when they're ready to have their kids and get married, they have something to pass along. So that was on my mind today. Be intentional about all you do, and in all things pray. Pray that you will be that foundation for your kids, for your grandkids, for your great-grandkids. Be intentional in all that you do, and keep prayer and God in your life.